Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about my top 10 Essen picks. Not going to be able to go, but if I were to go, I would be checking these games out. Now, I am going to list off a few games that I've already talked about on the channel this year that probably would have been on the list, but I'm just going to briefly mention them and try to cover some other games. So I'm going to do my top 10, and then at the end of the video, I will list a few honorable mentions as well. So here's some of the games that I've already covered on the channel. So we got March of the Ants, like a Ant 4X type of game. Looks really cool. Pillars of Heracles, think that's how you say it. 12 Rivers, which is like a marble thing. It looks really neat. Algae Inc. looks kind of crunchy. How to Save a World, I love that theme. And then Point Galaxy, which is in that Point City, Point Salad series, but it's space themed, and we all know I love me some space themed games. Okay, so those are a handful of games to keep an eye out for, but now let's get into my top 10 list, starting with number 10. And this one caught my eye just because sometimes I just like me some dice in games. And this one is Paradise. Gather the best stones from the quarry to build the most powerful pyramid. The pictures also caught my eye. You have this big quarry of dice in the middle. I think it said 47 dice placed on 3 floors. I love that. I find it very intriguing for me. And I think this is a 2-player game, but I think at the bottom it says you can add more players if you buy another box, but just the one standalone box is 2-player. And each player is basically trying to build up their pyramid with dice that they're drafting from the quarry. And it looks like there's some bonuses you can get that let you manipulate the dice. And for instance, like turn 180 degrees or roll again. You're trying to achieve different public objectives. But I love the idea of you got to slowly build from the bottom up, build the pyramid, and you're drafting dice and placing the dice down. That just, I don't know, I just really love the sound of that. That seems right up my alley, and I think Justin might like to try that one as well. But yeah, so worker placement with dice and pattern building, and this one definitely looks really neat. It says 20 to 30 minutes playing time, so yeah, I'm totally down for trying that one. Okay, so now we got number 9, and that is going to be some nature here with forestry. And in this, you become forest stewards who balance resource harvesting with sustainability. 1 to 4 player game. Says 70 to 120 minutes playing time. This, I believe, is a Euro game, and it says it relies on a dual worker system in which players control a harvester and a manager, each with distinct responsibilities. So the harvester is doing stuff and the manager is doing stuff. And it looks like some of the mechanisms that list action points, contracts, in-game bonuses, variable player powers, and obviously the theme is environmental, farming, that type of thing. So yeah, I mean, and the pictures look interesting. I like the way it looks, and definitely caught my eye because I always love nature themes, but obviously we know I love space themed games, but I also really like nature themed games. And this one looks kind of interesting, so I'm curious if it's any good. So, but that is definitely one to keep an eye out for. That is Forestry, my number 9. Now we got number 8. And this one probably would have been higher. I thought it was going to be more of like a heavier dice game with more dice. It looks like more like a roll and write type of experience. So you're managing your resources to develop your city in 7 Wonders dice. 2 to 7 players. And in a short playing time, 25 to 30 minutes. So a game plays over a series of turns during which you will use dice to construct your city. At the end of the game, count up all your points to see who has the highest score. Yep, so just looks like a simple roll and write. But I know that's one that Justin and I would both be interested in trying because we both like 7 Wonders, and Justin especially really likes roll and writes. So that's definitely got to be one that we got to try sometime down the road. And number 7 is a space-themed game called Orbit that definitely caught my eye, and I'm curious if Justin might like this one because it feels like it might be more abstract. You are 24th century galactic tourists that race to visit all the planets of the Silo system. I think this is part of a series of games put out from Bitewing Games from the designer Reiner Knizia. So in this game, on your turn, you play a card, activate its actions in any order, and then draw back up to your hand size. The cards allow you to do a combination of things, moving your ship, collecting energy for bonus movement, advance planets along their orbit, or even reverse the orbital direction of a planet. Point-to-point movement, hand management, movement points, sci-fi, definitely something that I am very interested in, and I'm digging how it looks. I think it looks very gritty, I really like paths and grids and all that type of stuff, so definitely caught my eye, and that is number 7, Orbit. Okay, so now 6 is a 4X looking type of game, and I'm always down for those types of games, and that is Rise of the Wastelands. So in this game, you explore the wastelands after a meteor impact and rebuild your society. I'm just a sucker for those types of games and these types of themes, so yeah, it looks cool as well. So you're going to be doing some action points, you got the hex grids, map addition, so you're going to be exploring some civilization type of stuff. So basically, futuristic post-apocalyptic world. You're going to be starting from your capital, you're going to be exploring the map, discovering new areas, establishing outposts to recycle materials. Then you're going to be getting some materials to construct buildings and units. There's going to be some combat. That's definitely all up my alley. Okay, so I like these 4X type of games. Combat is not my favorite part of these games, but I still love these types of games. So definitely one I would really like to try out. And that is the Rise of the Wastelands. And yeah, I really like those games where you are exploring and you're flipping over stuff or discovering things. I love that. Love that in games. So, number 5 is also kind of like a civilization-y, I guess, maybe a little 4X. It listed a 4X mechanism down here on the page. So that is it Epochs? Epochs Course of Cultures. So in this game, you are building your legendary civilization to stand the test of epochs. Okay, so 2 to 4 player game. It looks gorgeous. I think this was a Kickstarter. I think I remember seeing this and I'm like, ooh, that's pretty. Can't really do much crowdfunding these days, but it looked really cool. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, it does list Kickstarter, so it was on Kickstarter. So this is civilization, economic, hand management, modular board, 4X tableau building, all that stuff sounds great to me. I love the way it looks. So this will be played over ancient, medieval, and modern eras, and you are going to be introducing a total of 9 inventions to customize your civilization. I like that. I love that a lot. You're going to be expanding your territories, building cities, establishing trade routes, academic research, changing forms of government, building magnificent wonders to consolidate your authority. And then it looks like there might be a little bit of invading or war. Yeah, there might be some war in there as well. So that is definitely up my alley, and it looks neat. That is Epoch's Course of Cultures. And number 4 is Back to Nature, and this is kind of a reimplementation of Ark Nova. It is a sanctuary. So in this game, you are building a modern zoo for animals and achieving conservation goals. So I believe this is a more modified, simplified version of Ark Nova, and it's heavily driven with tile placement, and you're puzzling out how you're laying out your tiles. And this game has, it says 135 unique zoo tiles with different animals, buildings, and projects. So this has, I think, the same action queue system, and there's 4 different action cards to manage your gameplay. But obviously animal-driven, zoo-driven. Definitely interested in trying a more simplified version of Ark Nova. And if it's simplified and just more simply just tile placement going on, I wonder if I can get him to play it. I know he won't play Ark Nova with me. That's not up his alley at all. But I wonder if it's simplified, maybe a little shorter. I'm curious if he'll try this one with me. It looks cool. I like the way it looks a lot. Hope it's a good one. That is Sanctuary. Okay, now we got my number 3 game, and this one I know for sure that Justin will try, and I have a feeling that we will both like this game. This is, well, it's a space-themed game, but it's deduction, and it is Arapa Space. Arapa Space, I don't know how to say it. This game, you use lasers to deduce the hidden positions, directions, and colors of the planets. This is a very simple game. It looks like few components, smallerish box, I believe, and it is just a nice puzzle deduction game, and you're trying to basically figure out where the planets are, and I guess you're going to be asking questions, and these lasers might bounce off these planets differently depending on, I guess, the color or the different type. I don't know. It sounds really interesting, and I really think that Justin might like this one as well. So definitely high up on the list. That's why it's number 3. And it's a nice, clean package. I'm really excited to try this one. Okay, so let's move into number 2. And this one, still some more nature. And we're dealing with ants. So in this game, you're going to dig, explore, and forage to expand your anthill and strengthen the colony. This one looks really cool. We recently played another ant theme game. It was older. What is it? Myrmes? I don't know how to say it. Myrmes, I think. I don't know. It's an older ant themed game. I liked that a lot. I love the concept of sending out workers and there's a map that you're doing stuff, trying to spread out your ants. I didn't keep it because I didn't think anyone would play it with me. But I'm curious if these newer versions of ant-themed games, if they're a little bit better, and maybe Justin will play with me or some of my friends. This one definitely looks great. I love the way it looks. And so you have your own player boards, and then there's that shared map in the middle, and you're trying to spread out your colony. And there's 6 main actions: dig, explore, gather, incubate, play cards, or defeat enemies. And there's also free actions. And then it also looks like the number of ants that you send out directly influences the power and impact of your chosen action. So you have hand management, open drafting, civilization, exploration, and man, this looks so cool. I really, really want to try this one a lot. That is from, who's the publisher? Oh, Cranio Creations. Yeah, this looks outstanding. Definitely interested. So if I hadn't already mentioned March of the Ants, my anticipated 2025 list, I would have probably had 2 ant-themed games on this list. They both look cool. Yep, so that is my number 2, Ants. And number 1 is going to be from the people who did Revive. And that is a game I own and I really like. And this is going to be Recall. This is explore the lands and discover ancient civilizations to learn from them. So it sounds like this, well, it says it's a deep strategy game and it's focused on engine building and exploration. Man, do I love those 2 things. So I'm immediately like, yes, please. Although it does look quite busy, so I'm curious if it's going to be an eyesore, but usually I don't mind that. I know some people have been complaining about that, I believe, but I am totally down for trying this game. So throughout the game, you will lead your tribe, explore the lands, and discover traces of ancient civilizations to learn from them. On your turn, you're going to use a key card to activate an action box, or recall to produce resources and regain your key cards. Yeah, this looks great. Civilization, exploration, like I said, I that is just up my alley. Love those types of things. And I think it looks cool. The player boards themselves look like there's going to be some fun upgrades and building out things, and I'm just totally down for that. And I'm hopeful that it's good because it's from the people who did Revive, and I like Revive. It says 90 minutes playing time, 1 to 4 players. We'll see how that goes. But that is my number 1, Recall. So tell me in the comments below what would be your number 1 game that you would want to look for or try to get, if you are going to Essen, or dream about if you're not going to Essen like me. So now let's take a look at a few honorable mentions. There were just a handful of games I'm like, oh, these look interesting, but didn't make my list. So let's briefly look at them. So we have the Peak Team. I think this is a cooperative game, I believe. And you are, coordinate with other rangers to safeguard animals from a wildlife park. This is from Scott Alms. But it looks like a nice package, really pretty. The main board represents the wildlife reserve, dominated by a towering mountain divided into distinct regions. Yeah, this just looks like a nice little game. Pattern movement, hand management, cooperative. Definitely one I'd like to try. That is the Peak Team. Then there's also Fathom. This is also a really cool looking game. Discover mysterious creatures in the bioluminescent depths of the ocean. The cover of this game definitely caught my eye. And this has this like cool like sonar looking thing going on here. There's like each player has their own board, but there's a main board in the middle. And it's a tile-laying, pattern-building game of deep-sea exploration in which you take on the role of marine biology teams. So definitely sounds cool. Yeah, it says, scan the unmapped depths and place tiles representing signs of marine life. Definitely one I want to try. Then we are going to talk briefly about Meltwater. I think this is a new version of an older game. I think it came out in maybe 2018. I'm guessing maybe this is showing up, this new edition, for the first time from Capstone Games. But it's after a nuclear war, U.S. and Soviet forces fight for survival in Antarctica. It's a 2-player game. The reason why it's on the list because this is one of those games I think Justin and I tend to gravitate toward. We like 2-player games. We like these war ones. So you've got action points, area majority. It's a hexagon grid, and you're taking command of the shattered remains of the superpowers struggling for control of the ice. Yeah, so this is totally one that I think Justin and I would both like to try. Meltwater. Then we have Aquaria. And this is coming out from, I believe, Delicious Games. Take care of your lionfish. So I guess you're kind of doing your aquarium. And this is from the designer Tomasz Holek, I believe that's how you say his name. But I'm pretty sure he's the super popular brand new designer last year that was busting out like SETI and Tea Garden and Galileo Galilei. So yeah, definitely want to try those games because I'm a huge fan of SETI. So I still have to try those other ones, but this is definitely on the list to try. Building out an aquarium looks cool, sounds great, and the designer is great. And then lastly, I wanted to mention this briefly. It is Children of the Colossi, I think. Tribes compete for colossi eggs in a post-apocalyptic world. I think what caught my eye on this one is it looks like your player boards have this little tech tree type of thing, and I am definitely a sucker for those as well. But this is definitely a Euro style dudes on a map game. So it looks like the map has different quadrants, and so you're doing area majority, worker placement, tech trees, yeah, that whole shebang. But it looks interesting, looks pretty. So those are some of my honorable mentions. All right, guys, so out of all those games, I listed quite a few. What are some of your top ones? So do let me know in the comments below. But thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one.